Today, we will briefly discuss cybercrimes, its reasons, nature, and types and impact of these crimes. First of all, we will discuss what does cybercrime means. If we discuss what crime is, then anything barred or against the law is crime. In the same way, all the wrongful act committed on computer, internet or network are known as cybercrime. The internet all over the world is growing rapidly. It has given rise to new opportunities in every field we can think of, be it a social media like Facebook, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Orkut, which you all might know, or entertainment, business, sports and education. But there are two sides of coin. Internet also has its own disadvantages, and one very major disadvantage is cybercrime. The development of information technology and electronic media, especially from 1980s onwards, have given rise to new variety of computer related crimes, which are commonly called cybercrime. The widespread growth of these crimes has become a matter of global concern and a challenge for the law enforcement agencies in the new millennium. Because of the different nature of these crimes, they can be committed unknowingly and far away from the victim without being physically present there. Further, cyber criminals have a major advantage. They can use computer technology to inflict damage without risk of being caught. These crimes cover a wide range of illegal computer related activities such as theft of communication services, electronic money laundering and tax evasion, terrorism and extortion, telemarketing frauds and illegal telecommunication, money laundering, hacking into bank servers, etc. For example, 2,50,000 rupees were misappropriated from the Bank of Baroda in India through falsification of computerized bank accounts. Now, we will discuss the definitions of the cybercrime. Simplest definition of cybercrime is any illegal act committed using a computer network, especially internet, is considered as cybercrime. Some authorities feel that cybercrime is an inaccurate word, as this term nowhere defined in any statute or act enacted by the Parliament. In a sense, it is not radically different from the concept of conventional crime, insofar as both include conduct, whether act or omission, which causes breach of law and therefore it's punishable by the state. A cybercrime may be defined as any illegal criminal activity that use computer either as instrumentality, target and means of perpetrating further crime. In other words, cybercrime is an unlawful act wherein the computer is either a tool or a target or both. Cybercrime covers a wide variety of criminal activities, including act against the confidentiality, integrity, availability of computer data or systems, computer related offences, content related offences and copyright related offences, etc. Cybercrime is defined as a crime in which computer is the object of the crime or is used as a tool to commit an offence. Cybercriminals may use computer technology to access personal information, business trade secrets, or use the internet for exploitative purposes. Criminals can also use computers for communication and document or data storage. Criminals who perform these illegal activities are often referred to as hackers. Now we will discuss nature of cybercrime. Cybercrime is known to all over the world as a crime committed through internet. It is nowadays becoming a serious matter of concern all over the world. Nothing is crime unless prescribed by the law. But most of the categories of the cyber crimes are still beyond the reach of the law. The nature of cybercrime is such that geographical and political boundaries are rendered irrelevant. Truly speaking, cybercrime is transnational in nature and scope, having varied effect on different parts of the world. There is lack of standardized universal anti-cybercrime legislation of the international level. Cyberspace and internet having developed as a favorite medium of carrying on wide range of activities has at the same time become an easy and convenient mode of committing cybercrime the world over, which can be detected only with the international cooperation of law enforcement agencies of different countries. Therefore, non-uniformity of laws worldwide, especially for cybercrime, is the foremost need to fight against cybercrimes and the criminals. The 12th UN Congress on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice, held in Brazil on 12th and 19th April 2010, held extensive discussion expressing serious concern over the massive use of computer science and technology by the perpetrator of cyber crimes and measures to be adopted by the preventing authority in fighting these crimes. Now, what are the reasons for the cyber crimes? Before discussing various types of cyber crimes and the modes of committing them, firstly we will discuss what are the reasons for the increasing trends of cyber crimes. Here we will discuss some common reasons for the cyber crimes. First is to gain financial benefit at low risk, as is the case with the many crimes committed outside the internet. Money is the major motivator for many cyber criminals, especially because the danger of criminality are less apparent when you are hiding behind the network. The perception of low risk and very high financial reward prompts many cyber criminals to engage in criminal activities. Then we'll discuss negligence. Negligence is very closely connected with human conduct. It's therefore very probable that while protecting the computer system, there might be any negligence, which is in turn provides a cyber criminal to gain access and control over the computer system. Then we'll discuss loss of evidence. Loss of evidence is a very common and obvious problem, as all the data are routinely destroyed. Further, collection of data outside the territorial extent also paralyzes this system of crime investigation. This is the significant feature of the computer system, is that evidence is destroyed in no time. The criminal find it easy to destroy the evidence soon after the crime is committed, which make it difficult for the investigating agencies to collect relevant material evidence for prosecuting the offender. Then indefinite legal jurisdiction. Most internet crimes take place across international borders. Law enforcement agencies are always limited to jurisdictional boundaries. We have federal law enforcement agencies which reach across the city and state boundaries, but they can't easily traverse international boundaries. Again, we will discuss some types of cyber crimes. Cyber crimes are broadly categorized into three categories, namely crime against individual, against property, or against the government. Each category use a variety of methods, and the methods used vary from one criminal to another. First, we will discuss cybercrime against individual. This type of cybercrime can be in the form of cyber stalking, distributing pornography, trafficking, grooming. Today, law enforcement agencies are taking this category of cybercrime very seriously and are joining forces intentionally to reach and arrest the offender. First, we will discuss cyber stalking. What does stalking means? In stalking, persistent messages are sent to unwilling recipient, thus causing them annoyance, worry, and mental torture. Sending of unwanted emails or spamming is an infringement of right of privacy. Cyber stalking involves following persons' movement across the internet by posting messages, by entering the chat rooms frequented by the victims. Cyber stalking usually occurs with the women who are stalked by men. A cyber stalker does not have to leave his home to harass his target and has no fear of physical avenge, since he cannot be physically touched in cyberspace. For example, an honors graduate from the University of San Diego in USA terrorized 5 female university students over the internet for more than a year. The victim received hundreds of violent and threatening emails, sometimes receiving 4 or 5 messages in a day. The student who pleaded guilty told the police that he had committed the crimes because he thought that the women were laughing at him and causing others to ridicule him. In reality, the victims had never met him. Then we will discuss cyber defamation. This implies defamation of an individual by anything which can be read, seen, or heard with the help of computers. Any derogatory statement which is intended to injure a person's name or reputation on a website or sending emails containing defamatory information to some other person constitute the offense of cyber defamation. For example, Abhishek, a teenage student, was arrested by the Thane police in India following a girl's complaint about tarnishing her image on the social networking site Orkut. Abhishek had allegedly created a fake account in the name of the girl with her mobile number posted on the profile. The profile had been sketched in such a way that drew lots of comments from many who visited her profile. The Thane Cyber Cell tracked down Abhishek from the false email account that he had created to open the account. Then next is privacy infringement under section 72 of the Information Technology Act 2000, where any person illegally and without the consent of the person concerned disclose any electronic book, register, information, document, that person will be liable for the breach of confidentiality and privacy. Then we will discuss cybercrime against economy. Money is the most common motive behind all the crime. The same is also true for the cybercrime. Globally, it's being observed that more and more cybercrimes are committed for financial motives rather than for revenge or for fun. In this category, we will first discuss hacking. Hacking is the most common form of cybercrime in these days. The reason why hackers indulge in this crime may vary from monetary gain to political interest, or it may be even for the sake of just thrill. Hacking may be of different forms such as web spoofing, email bombing, Trojan attacks, virus attacks, password cracking, etc. In simple words, hacking means seeking unauthorized access through computer network. For example, a person had stolen usernames, passwords, credit card information by hacking into the computer of the victim. He would then extort money from those victims with threat of deleting his data and destroying his computer system. In this category, we will discuss email bombing and spoofing. Email bombing refers to sending a large number of emails to the victim, resulting in the victim's email account or mail server in the case of company or an email service provider crashing. For example, in one case, foreigner had been residing in Shimla, India for almost 30 years, wanted to avail a scheme introduced by the Shimla Housing Board to buy land at low rates. When he made an application, it was rejected on the ground that the scheme was available only for the citizens of India. Then he decided to take his revenge. Consequently, he sent thousands of emails to Shimla Housing Board and repeatedly kept sending emails till their server crashed. Then email spoofing. A spoofed email is one that appears to originate from one source but actually has been sent from an other source. For example, Pooja has an email address pooja@asianlaws.org. Her ex-boyfriend Sameer spoofs her email and sends obscene messages to all her known. Since email appears to have originated from Pooja, her relationship with her friends may be spoiled for life. Then we will discuss virus. Computer viruses are small software programs that are designed to spread from one computer to another and to interfere with computer operation. A virus must corrupt or delete data on the victim's computer, use the victim's email program to spread itself to other computers, or even erase everything on the victim's hard disk. Viruses are most easily spread by attachment in email messages. For example, in 2002, the creator of the Militia computer virus was convicted. The virus had spread in 1999 and caused more than 80 million in damage by disrupting personal computers, business and government computer networks. Then we will discuss what Trojan is. Trojan is an unauthorized program which gains control over another system by representing itself as an authorized program. This is unauthorized program which function from inside what seems to be an authorized program, thereby concealing what is actually doing. For example, a young lady reporter was working on an article about online relationship. The article focused on how people can easily find friendship and even love on the internet. During the course of her research, she made lots of online friends. One of these friends managed to infect her computer with Trojan. This young lady stayed in one small bedroom apartment and her computer was located in one corner of her bedroom. Unknown to her, the Trojan would activate her web camera and microphone even when the internet was switched off. A year later, she realized that hundreds of her pictures were posted on pornographic sites around the world. Then we will discuss internet time theft. This connotes the uses by an unauthorized person of the internet hours paid for by an other person. For example, in May 2000, the Delhi police arrested an engineer who had misused the login name and password of a customer whose internet connection he had set up. The case was filed under the Indian Penal Code and the Indian Telegraph Act. Then we will discuss webjacking. What does webjacking means? Just as conventional hijacking of an airplane is done by using force, Similarly, webjacking means forcefully taking over the control of a website. The motive is usually the same as hijacking for ransom. The persons have either the monetary or political purpose. For example, when someone forcefully takes control of a website by cracking the password and later on changing it, the actual owner of the website does not have control anymore over what happens on that website. Then we will discuss digital forgery. Digital technology facilitates perfect reproduction of a document. By using a computer, it's very easy to forge a document through printers and scanners by developing counterfeit currency, postal cards, revenue stamps, mark sheet, birth certificate, etc. For example, in October 1995, Economic Offences Wing of Crime Branch, Mumbai, seized over 22,000 counterfeit share certificate of 8 reputed companies worth rupees 34 crores. These were allegedly prepared using desktop publishing system. For example, Abdul Karim Talegi along with several others was convicted in India on several counts of counterfeiting stamp papers and postage stamps totaling several billion rupees. Then we will discuss piracy and infringement of intellectual property rights. Piracy and infringement of intellectual property rights are one of the most critical crimes committed in cyberspace. Intellectual property consists of bundle of rights which may be violated by committing software piracy, copyright infringement, trademark, service mark violation, theft of computer source code, etc. Internet being the fastest telecommunication and information system, it has become a most convenient media to conduct business transactions. The explosion of digitalization and the internet have further facilitated the intellectual property right violators to copy and illegally distributed secrets, trademarks, logos, theft of computer source code, etc. Computer pirates steal away valuable intellectual property when the copies software, music, graphic pictures, books, movies, etc., which are available on the internet. Usually, most material that pirates or offenders want to copy is protected by the copyright, which implies that a person cannot take out copies, therefore, unless permitted to do so by the copyright owner. It is punishable offence under the copyright right. Trademark is also one of the intellectual property rights that protects the goodwill and reputation of traders and businessmen. These marks are intended to differentiate goods of trader from other traders who are in the same stream of trade and business. Passing of actions are also covered under the Trademarks Act, wherein the trader passes off his inferior quality good in the name of same reputed trader who is selling the same commodity or article. For example, if a particular logo is generally associated with and used in the relation to product A and it's used by someone else in relation to product B, would be an infringement of trademark right, and an act of passing off these illegal activities are carried on through the use of computers and internet. It will attract the provision of Information Technology Act 2000. Now we will discuss cybercrime against the government. The growth of the internet has shown that the medium of cyberspace is being used by the individual and the groups to threaten the government and citizens of the country. Cyber terrorism is one distinct kind of crime in this category. Now we will briefly discuss what does cyber terrorism means. Despite lighter physical and border security, terrorism has been a complex problem faced by the government and policymakers. With the emergence of new communication technology, the nature and mode of operation of terrorism has undergone a radical change, giving rise to new variety of terrorism called as cyber terrorism. Cyber terrorism and cyberspace includes unlawful attacks or threat of attacks against the computers, networks and the information stored therein in order to intimidate government and its people in furtherance of political, social and ideological objective. A cyber terrorist may be defined as a person who uses computer system as a means to achieve any of the following objective. The first one is putting the public and any section of the public in fear, or affecting adversely the harmony between different religious, language, regional groups or caste or community. Then coercing or overthrowing the government established by the law, or it may be endangering the sovereignty and integrity of the nation. Even act done in pursuance of above objectives will be an act of cyber terrorism. The most likely target of cyber terrorists are military installation, power plants, air traffic controls, banks, telecommunication networks, fire and rescue system, etc. Cyber terrorism has become an attractive option for the modern terrorists for several reasons. Some of them are as follows. It is relatively easy and cheaper than the traditional terrorist methods. Again, it has the potential to directly affect a large number of people at the same time. Again, it's easy to evade detection or prosecution in cyber crimes. So, it hardly needs to stress that interconnectivity of national networks into the single world wide web is being misused by the cyber terrorists for pursuing their cyber activities. Then we will discuss preventive legal measures against cyber crimes. Laws are generally meant for meeting the needs of society, and it's therefore a dynamic concept which undergo changes with the changing needs of the society. The modern information technology evolution has enabled human society to prosper and make tremendous progress, but at the same time given rise to new problems which are unknown to the mankind. Cybercriminality is one of such grave area. The Indian Penal Code 1860 was found insufficient to cater the needs of new crime emerging from internet expansion. Even some of the traditional crimes such as conspiracy, securities, frauds, etc. are now being committed through internet, which necessitates a new law to curb them. It was in this background that the Information Technology Act 2000 was enacted in India for prevention and control of cyber crimes. Now we will discuss impact of cyber crimes. The expansion of internet and computer network all over the world has generated a new variety of crime commonly known as cybercrime. The area most hit by the impact of this crime is economy and security regimes, because the alarmingly expanding dimension of cyber frauds and terrorist activities of hardcore terrorists are ruining the nation's economy and posing a threat to the national security, destroying its internal and external peace. The intellectual property right violation and leakage of confidential information and trade secret disclosure online of the business houses, industries, banking and financial institutions, etc., is causing tremendous loss which extends to millions of rupees. Now we will conclude as an overview of the international perspective of law on prevention and control of cybercrime. Make it clear that all the countries all around the world are concerned with the growing menace. In the Indian context, though the Information Technology Act 2000 has been enacted as a comprehensive legislation to deal with cyber offences, but it has no applicability in many situations. Looking into the international dimensions of these crimes, the jurisdictional problems between the countries as also the variation in their cyber laws, the electronic transactions and liability issues for the acts executed in cyberspace still remains uncertain in the absence of an adequate global cyber law. And lastly, I would like to say thank you for watching this program.